Hello, my name is Jennifer Harvey, and in this video I'll be discussing climate change vulnerability in my hometown of Sherbrooke, Canada. Sherbrooke is located in southeastern Quebec, a province in Canada. This is Sherbrooke. The city proper is 58.12 square kilometers, while the region of Sherbrooke is 1,108.16 square kilometers. The region is surrounded by mountains, rivers, and lakes, and is 181 meters above sea level. If we zoom in on the map, we'll see that Sherbrooke has two major rivers running through it, the St. Francis River and the Magog River. This will be important to remember later when we discuss flooding. Sherbrooke's geographic coordinates are 45.4 degrees north and 71.9 degrees west. The area where this Canadian city is now established was first colonized in the late 1700s, and the city was incorporated in 1852. Today, Sherbrooke boasts a population of 161,232 people, making it the fourth largest city in the province of Quebec and the 13th largest city in Canada. Sherbrooke's population is increasing slowly, at a rate that is lower than the national average of 1% increase annually. In terms of population density, there are 456 people per square kilometer living in the city itself. The first language spoken in Sherbrooke is French, with nearly 90% reporting French as their mother tongue. English is the second most popular language spoken, with almost 5% of the population reporting English as their mother tongue. Originally a manufacturing center, the local economy has experienced significant change in recent decades. While there remain several textiles, clothing, and machinery businesses, the local economy has shifted towards the education, electronic, health services, administration, and tourism sectors. In fact, over 20% of the population living in Sherbrooke goes to school. There are 2 universities and 4 colleges located within the city. There are many buildings from the 19th century remaining. These are made out of traditional materials such as stone and brick and feature Victorian and American architectural traits. The majority of modern buildings are made of concrete and glass. Most residential dwellings are constructed using wood and high-quality insulating material to combat the cold during the winter months. The province of Quebec is home to 3 climate types: tundra, subarctic, and humid continental. Sherbrooke, being located in the most southern part of the province, enjoys a humid continental climate. Summers here are warm, slightly humid, and winters are long and cold. Precipitation is fairly significant in Sherbrooke, usually exceeding 900 millimeters annually. Temperatures range between -15 degrees Celsius in the winter months and mid-20s during the summer months. There have been some severe weather events in recent years. The first was the ice storm of 1998, which is known as one of the largest natural disasters in Canadian history. Nearly 100 millimeters of ice pellets and freezing rain pelted the St. Lawrence Valley, where Sherbrooke is located, between the 4th and the 10th of January 1998. The storm claimed a total of 35 lives, injured an additional 945 people, and caused 600,000 people to be moved to temporary shelters. The total estimated cost of the storm is $5.4 billion. Sherbrooke experienced severe flooding in 2010 after the remnants of Tropical Storm Nicole dropped 90 millimeters of water on Sherbrooke in late September. The storm caused 2 deaths and millions of dollars in damages, as thousands of homes were flooded. Only 4 years later, in 2014, Sherbrooke was hit with another major flood, this time more severe. This time, heavy rains combined with melting ice in April caused the St. Francis River to 4 times its normal depth. Over 600 people were evacuated from their homes, streets were closed, and homes were flooded. You can see in this video clip local university students water skiing in the flooded streets as exams were rescheduled due to the flooding. Projected climate changes in Canada and the province of Quebec are expected over the next few decades and centuries due to climate change. If we narrow in on the southern part of the province, just inside that red rectangle, we can observe the data from the Canadian Global Coupled Model, which is a GCM, or Global Climate Model. This data shows us the temperature and precipitation by season in southern Quebec, where Sherbrooke is located, for both the normal, which is based over a 30-year period from 1961 to 1990, and 3 projected dates, 2020, 2050, and 2080. Let's take winter, for example. We can see that the temperature is on average between -7.5 to -11 degrees Celsius, and this is projected to increase by 1 to 2.5 degrees Celsius by 2020, by 2 to 5 degrees Celsius by 2050, and by 3.5 to 8 degrees Celsius by 2080. Precipitation is currently between 270 and 330 millimeters during the winter, and this is expected to increase quite a bit as well in these projections. This data is based on Special Report on Emission Scenario, or SRES, A1B, which is characterized by rapid economic growth, moderately slow population growth, the introduction of more efficient technologies, and a balance between fossil fuels and clean energy technologies. In most of these Special Report on Emission scenarios, Sherbrooke can expect an increase in temperature, especially for the summer and winter months, precipitation, more flooding events, and a decrease in snow coverage for the winter, but an increase in freezing rain. This is portrayed graphically on this map of the province of Quebec, which shows the average summer and winter temperatures for the years 1961 to 1990 on the left, and 2041 to 2070 on the right. This data is based on an ensemble of 17 simulations using the Canadian Regional Climate Model. Sherbrooke is a small city that is growing slowly. It is surrounded by a vast territory of natural resources that is still easily providing many of the key resources that the city needs. Sherbrooke is very fortunate that it doesn't yet greatly suffer from phenomena such as the heat island effect, heat waves, smog days, or a lack of water, as many other cities in Canada do. However, it is quite vulnerable to flooding. A key economic sector that will be impacted is the education sector, as there are quite a few schools, colleges, and a university located beside the rivers that run through Sherbrooke, who will be very vulnerable to flooding. Geographically speaking, the borough of Lennoxville and the town of Waterville are at greatest risk of flooding as they are located on low-lying ground along the St. Francis River. Flooding has already caused loss of life, evacuations, businesses and schools to temporarily close when they are normally open, and hundreds of buildings, from homes to offices, to be flooded in their basements, costing millions of dollars in damages in the city of Sherbrooke. The projections from climate change models predict increases in flood events in the coming decades. There are several transboundary impacts that climate change will have for this region. First, flooding can cause damages to transportation infrastructure, which would slow the distribution of goods to neighboring cities and towns. Secondly, severe weather events like the ice storm of 1998 can cause major damage in electricity infrastructure, disrupting service for tens of thousands of people for days to weeks at a time. Finally, reduced snowfall in the inner city and surrounding ski slopes during the winter tourism season will decrease local tourism. And this concludes my report on climate change vulnerability in Sherbrooke, Canada. Thanks for watching.